I cannot wait until the day where I can go back to actual live concerts and sporting events. I know that the world is crazy right now, especially with what's going on in the Middle East. And yeah, technically we're still in a global pandemic somehow after a whole year. But it's going to all these fun events, like all the dumb, stupid entertainment that really helps me distract from all the stuff that's going on. Trying to make the world a better place all the time and trying to go after every single inconvenience and injustice that happens in this world. It's just mentally exhausting, and sometimes you just want to relax and, like, I don't know, watch something on Netflix, you know, maybe that show again that you watched like a billion times already, and you're just afraid to try something new, so you just stick to your comfort zone. Yeah, that's our life. So I came across this really interesting video called What Happened to the Izod Center. This was an arena that I went to a couple times for some old New Jersey Nets games. I figured this would be a really interesting video to react to, so let's see what actually happened to the Izod Center. Abandoned? Oh god, there might be ghosts in there. Let's see what happens. And it's also by this YouTuber. I gotta shout out the YouTubers who make this, you know, whole little video experience. Labreeze TV only has 463 subscribers. Go subscribe to this man, alright? Well, let's watch the video first, and then we'll figure out whether or not we want to subscribe to him or not, you know? You gotta earn your subscription around here. No, but seriously, support smaller YouTube channels. Anyway, let's go ahead and check this out.
Nestled in between the new American Dream Mall built around it sits what's left of a locally paraded icon and once the second epicenter of sports in the Northeast. Located in East Rutherford, New Jersey, just outside of New York City, the Izod Center is a sports arena at the Meadowlands Sports Complex, which deserves several videos in itself.
Wait, what? Oh god.
It was believed to have plenty of life left until its abrupt and sudden closure in 2015. Join me as we discover how this once hopping entertainment...
You like with the Vince Carter dunk? Wow.
My name is Lee Brees, and this is Modern Ruins, Episode 1.
Oh, okay, the very first episode.
In the late 1970s, the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority sought to construct an entertainment arena at their new thriving Meadowlands Sports Complex. The main purpose behind this project being to construct a permanent home for the New Jersey Nets basketball team of the NBA. Who had just returned to New Jersey after playing on Long Island as members of the ABA. The NBA as we know it today was fairly new at the time, as the ABA-NBA merger, creating the modern NBA, and thus the need for modern sports arenas, wasn't finalized until the summer of 1976. The new arena would be designed by New Jersey architectural firms Grad Partnership and Dailo, Klaus, Ostrowski and Partners, with a total construction cost of $85 million.
Wow.
The Brendan
Nearly $300 million today.
In this venue's history of names, opened on July 2nd, 1981, with a capacity of 20,000 fans. The arena's first event was a Bruce Springsteen concert.
Of course it was.
Springsteen being a local icon who grew up in nearby.
Of course it was the boss. Sorry, Bon Jovi.
Finishing touches to satisfy last-minute needs for tonight's opening. The smell of paint and the heavy odor of adhesives used to tack the flooring filled the air, and so did a great feeling of accomplishment and pride. Even though the official opening isn't until July 4th.
It looks ugly. I mean, back then it was like in the 70s or 80s, so obviously they made improvements.
Bruce Springsteen concert.
Springsteen would host 6 concerts in 8 days and record a live studio album from the concert series to commemorate the opening of the arena. The Nets would host their first game at the Brendan Byrne Arena on October 30th, 1981, with a loss to the nearby New York Knicks.
Of course they
With
lost.
whom the Nets had fought contentious lawsuits with since the merger simply for the right to move and play in New Jersey. Less than a year later, the arena would host the NBA All-Star Game and welcome additional new tenants in the recently moved and renamed New Jersey Devils, who had played as the Colorado Rockies in Denver, Colorado. The Devils' first game on October 5th, 1982, against the Pittsburgh Penguins, ended in a 3-3 tie. 1 year later, the arena would host the NHL All-Star Game and welcome a third tenant in the Seton Hall men's basketball team.
So they had a lot of stuff going on back then.
The arena would host more concerts and significant events,
Oh wow, look at
including
that.
the locally infamous Devils game in 1987, where the Devils beat the Calgary Flames 7-5, and only 334 spectators showed up due to a blizzard wreaking havoc on the New Jersey area.
Oh jeez.
The New Jersey Devils organization would make special
334
pins
club.
and send personalized letters to fans, creating the 334 Club to commemorate the event.
15
The New
inches
Jersey
of snow?
Devils would hoist
Wow.
the only championship banner in the arena under the Brendan Byrne name, defeating the Detroit Red Wings 4-0 in the 1995 Stanley Cup.
Yep.
In
The first of
1996,
three for the
Continental
Devils.
Airlines, who had a hub at nearby Newark Airport, came to a naming rights deal with the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority to rename the venue Continental Airlines Arena in a $29 million 12-year agreement.
Then went back to Izod
1996
Center,
would
and
prove
then
to be one of the best years of the arena, hosting the 1996 NBA Draft and 1996 Final
where
Four
Kobe was
as the last
drafted.
basketball-specific venue to host the final rounds of the tournament. In the new millennium,
awesome.
the arena still had plenty of life left and history to be made, as the arena remained a frequent concert venue, and the Devils hoisting additional championship banners, winning the 2000 and 2003 Stanley Cup, and the New Jersey Nets reaching the NBA Finals in 2002 and 2003.
And losing both times.
Continental Airlines Arena becoming one of only 5 venues to host the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals at the same time.
Wow.
Even with each team's success,
Great times back
there had always
then.
been rumors of both teams relocating to different cities, as the dating venue lacked modern amenities and game day experiences that brought in fans.
And also
In
traffic.
2003, even with the Devils' Stanley Cup championship, average game attendance rarely reached over 75% of the venue's capacity.
Yeah.
The team's new owner, Jeffrey Vanderbeek, a Lehman Brothers executive, supported a new arena built in downtown Newark, and a final deal with the Newark Housing Authority was complete in 2004.
And thus the
The
Prudential
city of
Center
Newark
came
contributed
around.
$210 million for construction of the new arena and infrastructure improvements, with Prudential Financial purchasing naming rights for $105 million over 20 years, helping reduce the city's burden. The Devils paid for the rest of the $380 million arena. The Devils would play their first game at the new Prudential Center on October 27, 2007. As seen in many cases before, a team moving to a new venue is never a good sign for a dating one. After the Devils' move, Continental Airlines dropped their naming rights agreement, and the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority signed a 5-year deal with Izod for naming rights, paying $1.4 million for the first 2 years and $750,000 each year after that, representing a 50% decrease in value of sponsorship of the dating venue.
Yikes.
The arena then went through a minimal makeover to assimilate to the new sponsorship and refresh the venue, opening as the Izod Center with newly painted red columns to match the company's styling. The newly revamped arena revealed itself to the public for the Nets' opening game in 2007, with notable celebrities in attendance such as Chris Rock, and the then non-controversial figure Donald Trump as a guest of the president and COO of Izod, Alan Zirkin.
Wow.
Less than 2 years later, calls for the center's closure began to mount as Mayor of Newark Cory Booker and Jeffrey Vanderbeek grew concerned as it was competing with the Prudential Center for events and was a, quote, drain on taxpayers, being a publicly owned venue. Later in 2009, the Nets completed a deal to move to the Prudential Center, which included a compromise for the two venues. The Prudential Center would host all sporting events typically held at the Izod Center, namely Nets and Seton Hall basketball and Devils hockey games. The Izod Center would continue to host concerts and family shows, and as a joint venture, Jersey Presents LLC was created to manage the deal and decrease the tension between the promoters and opponents of each venue. Agreeing to a 2-year deal at the Prudential Center, the Nets played the last sporting event at the Izod Center on April 12, 2010, in a loss to the Charlotte Bobcats.
They were like one of the worst teams.
The final basket.
One of the worst teams back then.
Even with the deal, a venue built to host sports can only be on life support without them. The Izod Center would continue to host traveling shows, concerts, graduation ceremonies, American Idol auditions, and be a temporary home court. But the New Jersey Exposition and Housing Authority began immediately looking for a buyer or leasing partner for the now 30-year-old entertainment venue. This all was happening in the middle of construction of another messy government-intertwined development venue. The American Dream Mall, located on all sides of the arena, was on its third developer, 555 Group, who explored options to incorporate the arena into its complex, but none of the ideas
That's way too much money.
On its own, the arena couldn't compete with the 7 other sports venues located within a 20-mile radius.
Yep.
Even with its use in Super Bowl 48 in 2013, the venue would report a loss of $45,800 just from the one event, and losses topped $8.5 million for the year 2015.
Oof.
Usual private development superhero, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie uncharacteristically called for the center to permanently close, and given the endorsement, the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority voted to close the Izod Center permanently.
Honestly, I don't blame him for wanting to do that.
Right now, the investors who are demanding that that restaurant close, the investors are taxpayers. They're you. And they're your neighbors, and they're your families, and they're your friends. The investors are pulling the plug, and we need to figure out another way. I absolutely believe, and I say this from my heart, that the brightest days of that arena are in front of it and not behind it. In front of it and not behind it.
No. The vote concluded with a new deal to sell all of the remaining events scheduled for the Izod Center for the next 2 years to the Prudential Center for $2 million over those 2 years. The Izod Center could not host an event with more than 10,000 spectators without explicit approval from the Prudential Center. The New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority faced a lawsuit filed by some of the acts that were scheduled to perform in the arena later in the year, which was settled for $1.9 million. The final event open to the public at the Izod Center was a Ringling Bros Circus event in March 2015.
Yeah, what a way to close out the freaking circus.
The New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority said they had yet to receive the first installment from the Prudential Center due to the new deal. The closure of the Izod Center led to unprecedented amounts of demand for events at the Prudential Center and had a long backlog of events to host. This opened a small window of opportunity for the now simply called Meadowlands Arena that was left sitting with no tenants and unused. While the structure had been permanently closed, the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority had been putting the building to use. The Winners Club Luxury Restaurant and Bar has been used by the New Jersey State Police. The former ticket office has been used as office space for the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority. But the main repurpose for the arena has been specializing as rehearsal space for travel shows and musical groups, with groups like Coldplay paying $40,000 to rehearse there for a concert at MetLife Stadium. The Meadowlands Arena most recent activity as of December 2020 is being the location of a TV show set for NBC's The Enemy Within and Lincoln Rhyme, Hunt for the Bone Collector, with NBC leasing the main floor for $185,000 per month. Even with attempts to reuse the building in this manner, the Meadowlands Arena continues to close its annual books in the red. It appears to me that what's keeping this venue alive is its location.
Yep.
The fact that it's near New York City and surrounded by a large population allows for opportunities that other venues with similar stories didn't have. I'm not sure how long the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority will hold on to this building, but its ultimate fate, in my view, is demolition, unless the building is sold to 555, who already face problems with their immense American Dream Mall. The venue had problems with its amenities and fan experience from the very beginning, and the only thing people want to save it for is to not let the memories die. But the best thing to do for the people of New Jersey and Red Devil and Nets fans everywhere is to hold on to the memories and stories tight and let the cash-eating, terrible, way-sucky arena go.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of great memories with the Izod Center / Continental Airlines Arena. I mentioned this before on my channel. The Continental Airlines Arena, that's where I went to SummerSlam 2007 with my dad. That was a really great event that I went to, and that was something that I really, really enjoyed. But other than that, it was kind of an arena. Prudential's better, but not by much, if you know what I mean. Look, I mean, as long as I have a sports event or like a sports stadium in New Jersey, I'm not gonna complain, you know. Like, it would be my dream if the New Jersey Nets or the Brooklyn Nets one day came back to New Jersey, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. But, you know, you just never know with those sort of things. But yeah, that was a really interesting look at the Izod Center and how much research went into this. Really great video. Do you think Izod Center should be demolished? What was one of your favorite stadiums growing up in your areas? What events did you go to? Let me know down below in the comments, and have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, get vaccinated for the love of God, and peace.